Go back. Okay. All right, welcome back, Independence Mustang Wrestling fans. We're just a few minutes away from the second round of wrestling here at the Battle of Waterloo. All the fourth place teams from yesterday gathered up. We had Independence and Alburnett started in the first round. It was Alburnett winning 46-31 in that first round. And now we're going to have Independence versus Iowa City West. It's kind of the neat thing about this tournament is we've got teams from all three classes here. So we go from one of the better teams in Class 1A to an outstanding team in Class 3A and all points in between. I know in the championship bracket, the first place teams, you got Don Bosco mixed in there with all the big boys and New Hampton in that mix as well. Just Cedar Rapids Prairie in that mix. I take that back. Cedar Rapids Prairie got beat yesterday. I'm trying to look around at the teams real quick. Lisbon, that's the team I was thinking of. Don Bosco and Lisbon. Boy, it's like 30 years ago. Don Bosco and Lisbon in that mix as two of the better teams here. Both of them winning their brackets yesterday. With Don Bosco beating Cedar Rapids Prairie in that bracket. So we have on the mat right now, it's Independence wrestlers going out across the mat, shaking hands with their opponents from Iowa City West. And we will start this dual meet at 145 pounds, where if it works out like I have so far, it'll be Seth House stepping out there for Independence at 145. We're taking some time to go around to all the mats right now and having the team step across. Good show of sportsmanship, shaking hands, and getting ready for round two. We had some awards that were given at the end of the first round, some Hall of Fame inductees for the Battle of Waterloo. Some four great wrestlers from the Waterloo area went back into the 1960s and into the early 1970s when both West Waterloo, East Waterloo, Waterloo Columbus, this was the place to be for wrestling in the state of Iowa back through the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Probably capped off when Dan Gable was a high school student at Waterloo West. So we got Independence and Iowa City West getting ready to go here. Not sure what the delay is right now. We got the referees ready to go. Looks like the head table's ready to go. And we'll see who steps up. Okay, here we go. I had the announcements start the matches. So away we go here at 145. And yes, it is Seth House stepping up. And thankfully, I'm looking at the mat. Saw the head coach step over to the table. I don't know if Iowa City West is going to forfeit at 145. No, they've got somebody stepping to the table. So Seth House, kind of keep track of the main screen here in Young Arena. Figure out where Independence is. Okay, he's going to be wrestling Jeff Garbett of Iowa City West. So Seth House, Jeff Garbett, Iowa City West, and away we go. House in on a single leg, up in the air, nice front trip, and a takedown for 2 points. Good way to start this match. Right away in the first 10 seconds, 2-point takedown. Good job by Seth House, get things going the right direction. 2-1 score after the escape. 1:44 left in the first period. So Independence and Iowa City West here on the mat right now. Shot by House on the edge of the mat. Iowa City West, boy, if we had a little more room, Iowa City West might have been able to use that. Good job by Seth by being offensive. This is, as he gets better, gets a little more experience this year, hopefully he can keep that offense going for all three periods. He's done a nice job the matches we've seen here at the Battle of Waterloo. Done a nice job of being offensive, especially early in the match, but maybe that hasn't carried through to the end of the match quite as much. There's a popping that elbow in on a single leg, kind of not in the best spot there, but he's going to get that inside trip, and nice job, takedown, 4-1 score now. House ahead, and he might get some back points here, but not able to maintain control. So 4-1 here, 50 seconds left in the first period at 1:45. First match of this second round here, Independence versus Iowa City West. South House on top, 4-1. First round didn't go the way of Independence for sure. Al Burnett winning that match 46-31. Down to the final 20 seconds now in this first period. House still in control on top. You're doing a good job up there. There's that barbed wire we talked about a few times today. Got that arm pulled tight across the chest, circling around the body. Trying to pick up some back points, but not able to keep it tight. And then he switches off real quickly to a half, turns it into a scramble, and no points awarded at the end of the first period. The towel guy got a little slow there. He didn't get out there to let us know when that period ended. So we head to the second period, a 4-1 lead. Done a good job up on his feet. Needs to stay after it here. Stay aggressive. Open this match up a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of a cushion. Another takedown or two would definitely do that for Seth House. He likes working that left elbow. That's kind of been his offense. Seen Seth wrestling here Thursday, Friday, now Saturday, and likes popping that elbow over on the left side. There's that shot off the edge of the mat. And Iowa City West picks up the stall call. We got stalling on Iowa City West. And a little blood time as well for Iowa City West. So Seth heads over to the corner. Got Coach Doyle, Coach Lochran, Coach Weber over there. Trying to keep Seth moving forward. Coach Lochran talking about dropping down to that single leg. Now he's talking about that barbed wire, getting tight across the chest, getting that far arm. I think he was saying, not only can you go to just the barbed wire move, but you can drop down to the inside leg too, and throw his hips up over top and maybe pick up some back points there as well. So a lot of learning going on in that corner. See if he can put it into play here the remainder of this match. We're in the second period right now, the first match here against Iowa City West. And we're ready to go again. So both wrestlers up on their feet here in the second period, 1:30 left. There's another elbow pass, good job, pushing the elbow by to that single leg. See where he takes it. He's either got to get it out from between his legs, drops down, but they get out of bounds. No points scored. Good job with that single. Just got to figure out what to do with that leg once you get it up. And sometimes get it in between your legs. That's about the worst place you want it to be with a single leg. Good job, pulling that arm again. Getting some penetration. There's the inside leg, stalling against Iowa City West. So he gets a point and a takedown. Good job, Seth House. Way to be offensive and getting after it. 7-1 score with 1 minute left in the second period. Iowa City West up to his feet. Seth should be able to get him back down to the mat, and he does so. Sit out attempt by Iowa City West. Seth gives up the escape. There's a shot again by Seth House. Kind of a reshot off of Iowa City's shot. 7-2 score, 40 seconds left in the second period. Seth House doing a nice job in this match with a 5-point lead. Oh, be careful, keep your feet. Sometimes Seth gets a little heavy on those feet. And that snap down by Iowa City West showed what happens when you get your feet stuck a little too hard on the floor. That's his feet are flying all over the place. Needs to be a little bit lighter on his toes out there. Can't ever set those feet still. You got Iowa City West kind of driving forward a little bit now. Seth's got to get back on the offense. Stop this motion, slow this motion down. There you go, moving forward, good job. Create a little bit of a space to get down to that single leg. Tell that's going to be his bread and butter for sure. up on his feet. That's his setup, is working that right arm. Apparently we're not going to end the period. Had 1 second left on the clock. They run it off. So we are heading into the third period now. 7-2 score. Seth House ahead. He's going to start this third period in the down position. House able to get to his feet. Good job. Iowa City West returns him. This is where Seth doesn't want to be. Don't want to be spending a lot of time here on the mat here with the 7-2 lead. He needs to get out of there and get back to his feet. Thankfully, a bar arm attempt by Iowa City West. Now Seth's getting a stalling call from the bottom. Well, this is an example of kind of dominating your opponent on your feet, ahead 7-2. We've got to make sure we can get out of this down position and get back to where we can score points again. Got to have hand control. Iowa City West is going to run us out of bounds. So good job of getting to our feet. Now, as we come up to our feet, we got to work the hand control too. It's got to be happening at the same time. Iowa City West able to stop Seth's motion there off the whistle and get that pressure forward. There we go. Good job up to our feet again. Way to run out of there. There's an escape by House. 8-2, a takedown would give us a major decision. Iowa City West in the front headlock off of Seth's shot. Seth just needs to stay right there, keep his knees underneath of him. Iowa City West tries to go out of bounds and get the takedown. 8-2 score, 41 seconds left. A takedown by House and a right out the rest of the period would give us a major decision. Love to see that on the scoreboard right now. 30 seconds. Oh, there was our reshot attempt right there. Could have gone right back to that arm. Drove through it. More wrestling on the edge. They're out of bounds. Okay, 17 seconds. Coach Loughlin over there saying, let's go. Let's get two. Let's get two here at the end of the period. Oh, Iowa City West goes for the headlock. He might give us two if we can get him taken down. Return him. There's two. That's a major decision. And he is going to ride him out the rest of the period. So nice job with the major decision, 10-2. So a win for Seth House, starting the meet off here against Iowa City West. And so stepping on the mat at 152, it's going to be Peyton Nolting. And we'll look up on the big board and see who we got here for Iowa City West. It's going to be Tyler Yorger, Peyton Nolting, Tyler Yorger of Iowa City West. So a nice first match win here against Iowa City West by Seth House. So the dual meet score, Independence ahead 4-0 with that major decision. Seth did a nice job, kept moving forward the whole match. There's a high crotch to a single leg by Peyton Nolting. Good job of getting it up in the air. Watch that. Maybe we could have scored some back points had he kept that whizzer just a little bit longer. But nice job Peyton Nolting with that high crotch to a single, return to the mat, and goes ahead by 2. At 152 pounds, this is the second match of this dual meet, Independence versus Iowa City West. Oh, there's a suck back attempt by Nolting. Long sit out by Iowa City West. Peyton would have adjusted to that just a little bit quicker, set the hooks, put the hooks underneath the shoulders and pulled him back. He's got it. If he can move his hands off the waist and suck him back, he's got an opportunity there. I don't think he's totally recognizing that situation when the Iowa City West wrestler sits out like that with his hips kind of out in front of his head. Peyton's got an opportunity to just put the double underhook in tight, pull him right to his back. A roll by Iowa City West, trying to create some motion and free his hips. Peyton does a good job of following. No change in position. Iowa City West with another sit out, and here's that same thing. Boy, Peyton can just bait him. He's going to continue to sit out with his hips away from the body. Love for that little light bulb to turn on in Peyton's head, because he's got an opportunity to get some back points with that. Final 10 seconds in this first period. And Peyton does a good job of riding his opponent out after the takedown in the first period. Hats off to Peyton there. Good first period with the takedown and the ride out the rest of the period. And that's going to take a lot of wind out of the sails of the Iowa City West wrestler. It's hard to get ridden for almost 2 minutes. So hopefully that takes a little gas out of the tank of the West wrestler. Now Peyton just needs to get back up to his feet as soon as he can. Good job with the stand-up. Iowa City West with the lift and return to the mat. So now we just need to go right back to that stand-up again. But bring some hand control with it. There's hand control right there. Good job. Hand control, gets the arm through the body, and an escape. So he's ahead 3-0. Stay in good position, hit a good setup, and let's get back in on that single leg. Got some head slapping going on there. A 3-0 score. Peyton Nolting on top here at 152. Had a win at 145. Major decision by Seth House. So early in this dual meet, things going the right direction so far for Independence versus Iowa City West. A long shot by Peyton. Iowa City West fights it off. Outside single leg attempt by Iowa City West as well. Now we got to get out of this position. Hey, nice job. Way to shuck it by. Something must have loosened up down there. That doesn't usually happen in that position. They were tied up so tight, but something loosened up. Peyton did a good job of recognizing it. Shucked his opponent by and picked up 2 more. He's ahead 5-0 right now. This is where sit out by Iowa City West. A little hook shot attempt, but Peyton follows it well. A roll by Iowa City West. Peyton stays, got his hips. Got kind of tied up in the roll. Needs to keep his head up, his hips up. It's like Iowa City West is going to get the reverse now, get those elbows down. So Iowa City West with the reversal off of the roll. Little tripod roll by Iowa City West. I thought Peyton had it followed, but that didn't quite follow well enough and gave up the reversal. So 5-2 score here at the end of the second period. Iowa City West is going to choose down, it looks like. Okay, so now we're in that third period. This is where Peyton just needs to stay in good position. We know he's got that roll there. Iowa City hits it right away, first thing. Peyton with the inside wrist, trying to drive him over top of it. I don't believe we've had any stalling calls, so even though Peyton rode him out the whole second period, the whole first period after the takedown, no stall calls. So just get yourself in a good position here. Keep that inside wrist. I like that. Doing a good job of getting out every now and then. Trying to run that forward. Just needs to get it to the outside just every now and then. Just get the referee off his back. Inside wrist now on the other side. Down to 1:10 left in this third period. Peyton Nolting ahead, 5-2. Oh, bar arm now. Good job by Peyton Nolting. This definitely will kind of keep a referee off the back. We're looking for a pinning combination, a bar arm. Keep that thing barred up. There you go. Drive it across the back. Good job. Trying to dig the head out. Trying to go push the head back, go underneath the arm. Iowa City West is going to grab our hand and kind of tie things up, but this is where we want to be. We got the leg controlled, we got one arm controlled, There's just not a lot that Iowa City can do in this situation. So 30 seconds left now in this third period. And we let that bar arm go a little bit too high up on the back. So Peyton Nolting ahead 5-2 over Tyler Yorger. Good job here so far in the third period of maintaining control, looking for a pinning combination, trying to work that. Yorger with the stand up right off the whistle. Got to be careful. We don't want a stall call here. He's going to have to drop down or cut him loose. Nolting drops down to a single leg. Nice trip. Oh, head up, head up. Keep your head up. Don't reach underneath. That whizzer position and maintains control. Good job by Nolting. The final 5 seconds going to tick away, and he's going to have a win, 5-2. Good job at 152 for Nolting. And Independence goes ahead in this dual meet 7-0 after 152. Nice solid match there by Peyton Nolting. Really had things in control that whole match. Maybe one little danger spot there, that whizzer situation towards the end of that period, end of that third period. But he controlled it quite well. Okay, here we are, Jake Jewell stepping out now at 160. And we will see who Iowa City has out there. Jake Jewell, trying to look on the board to see who he's wrestling. He's already got a takedown. That's a common theme in Jake's matches. He's in on a second takedown already, so 4-1 already. And Jake is wrestling Ashton Stump of Iowa City West. So Jake Jewell, Ashton Stump, 4-1 score right now for Jewell. Just 30 seconds into this match so far. Got a chicken wing hooked up for Jake. See what he can do with that. A couple directions he can go here at the edge of the mat. He can go around the head, or he can try to pull him back down. He's going to try and pull him over top of it. Tried to block with the knee and pull him over that chicken wing. I don't know if the wrestlers still call that the Lord. Well, he's going to go ahead and cut him loose. So 1 point given to Iowa City West. 1 minute left in the first period. 4-2 score. Jewell, snap down, spinner, go behind. That's 2 for Jewell. But it's hard to work pinning combinations on the edge of the mat. They're going to go out of bounds. Back to the middle, 6-2 score. Jake Jewell on top here at 160. Jake's had some tough matches here at the Battle of Waterloo. Lost a close, I believe it was a 3-2 match against the number 2 ranked wrestler from ADM earlier in the tournament, and then got caught by Al Burnett. Whoa, Jake just pretty well owned that one. Was going to try to let him up. The wrestler stayed there, so he just stuffed his head, underhooked, and literally tossed him to his back. So there's a win by fall for Jake Jewell. So Independence goes ahead 13-0 here at 160. Okay, at 170 now, we have Carter Rauter, I believe. Carter Rauter, Iowa City West, and Nick Holt. Nick Holt in on a single leg, drops down a little bit lower to it, gets it up in the air. Yeah, good job by Nick, taking back to the middle of the mat. That is exactly it. Getting a little bit closer to the body. There's the trip, and there's the takedown. Good adjustment by Nick Holt. Sometimes wrestlers get that single leg up in the air, and they just want everything right now. Boy, Rauter with some hip action there, and Rauter actually picks up the reversal and has Holt in a cradle. Thought it was a little more of a scramble situation. Not sure. Yeah, he's going to get back points because it was a reversal. I think the referee counted 2 there. Now Holt's going to actually minimum get an escape. Yeah, pick up the escape, but there was 2 back points awarded after the reversal for Iowa City West, so that's his 4 points. And Holt now with the takedown and an escape after that reversal. So 4-3 score here at 170. Seconds left in the first period. Router with the high crotch attempt, ends up in between the legs. Able to come up between the legs. We'll see what kind of a scramble we get here. The referee goes potentially dangerous on that. And new start back in the middle. 20 seconds left in this first period. Holt behind, 4-3. Love to see him get a takedown here in these now final 10 seconds. We know Holt's ranked here at 170 in Class 2A. Checking to see, it doesn't look like Router has any ranking right now unless they move some people around. Router putting up a pretty good fight for Iowa City West against Nick Holt. 4-3 score. All right, beginning of the second period here at 170. Nick's got a little bit of work to do. Got to get an escape, and we've seen that Router does a pretty good job in this top position. Does a good job of putting a lot of pressure forward. He's looking for that cradle again. Boy, I think thought Nick got caught there with head to the knee, and Router had it locked up, but he's able to come up out of it. Router hanging on to that single leg now. See when if and or when the stall comes. And Nick Holt able to kick out of it. Oh. When he kicked out, I think he might have rolled his ankle a little bit. Okay, ooh, got scared there for a second. I don't know if you could see the top of the screen. When he kicked out and ran off the edge there, he ended up falling to his back. I thought he rolled his ankle in that motion. There's a elbow throw by and a takedown by Nick Holt. He goes ahead 6-4. Now's where he needs to take control in the top position. 1 minute left in the second period. If he can ride his opponent out here, I've said it several times, in this top position, this is where he can take a lot of that activity that his opponent Router's had and just slow things down a little bit, take a little energy out. Holt's got the bar arm across the back. He's trying to go underneath the arm on the far side. Got a lot of pressure on the head. Boy, Router not even really trying to base up hardly. Now he is. Holt needs to maybe get back and get in a little bit better position. Drops back in for better position here. 20 seconds left in the second period. Router sit out changeover, gets up to his feet. See if Holt can maintain hand control, and he does. Down to the final 10 seconds in the second period. Holt ahead 6-4. And that's how the second period is going to wrap up. So Holt ahead 6-4, and they're going to go up on their feet here in the third period at 170. Third match of this dual meet. So far, Independence looking pretty good. 13-0 is the dual meet score. And things are going the right direction for Nick Holt. Another elbow pop and slide down to the kind of an elbow pop, almost like a duck under. So he goes ahead 8-4 now. I like got a little comfort, got a little buffer here now. Take an awfully big move by Router to suddenly jump ahead. But a little mistake, we can give up a point or for an escape or 2 points for a reversal. Nick doing a good job in the top position, putting a lot of pressure on his opponent. Got the arm barred up again, it looks like. We've been in this position before. It'd be nice to see him hook that leg as well. He's going to control those hips a little bit better. He's got to take his left leg and hook his opponent's leg as well. If you're going to put that much pressure forward, you got to have something controlling the legs as well in that bar arm situation. Pretty well got him broken down, and referee's going to give Iowa City West a stalling call. Now we got a bar arm almost to a half. Got to be careful here. Yep. Nick with the lift and return to the mat. Iowa City West tries to hit a switch when he goes down. Nick did a good job of covering the hips and stopping that motion as fast as possible. Down to 15 seconds left in this period. And let's see if Nick can just ride him out here and preserve this 8-4 lead that he's got right now. Looks like that's the direction it's going to go. I don't think Iowa City West is going to do anything much here at the end. And that's the way it looks. 8-4 win for Nick Holt at 170 pounds. And Independence now goes ahead 16-0 in this dual meet up through 170 pounds. So Elliot Ryan heading out to the mat right now. Little side thing going on with Elliot is that bloody nose he's got going. We'll see if we can keep that thing in check here during this match. He's had to battle that thing the last couple matches he's been out. So Elliot Ryan on the mat, and he's wrestling Nate Kelsey. Nate Kelsey of Iowa City West. Elliot Ryan able to sneak behind for two, but never quite had control and gives it right back up again. So 2 takedown, 2 reversal for Elliot Ryan. Snuck behind for 2, but not able to maintain control. They go out of bounds. They're going to head back to the middle of the mat. 2-2 score, 1:33 left in the first period. Like to see that first takedown, but needed to establish control just a little bit better. Under caution by Iowa City West. Moving a little too fast on the whistle there. Let's see, not on the referee. Iowa City West is moving awfully quick there. I think the referee, I don't know if the referee blamed that on himself or gave another caution there. I guess we'll find out. Third caution on Iowa City West would give us a point. Good stand-up series by Elliot Ryan. Continue to come to his feet. Elliot Ryan with the single leg attempt, casting over top of it. We'd like to see him with his head to the inside on a single leg, but he recovered well. Head to the outside, he cast his hips over. And we've got a stoppage here. We got a score issue. Not sure what's going on here. Oh, we had a time issue. That was Matt Shannon jumping in real quick, and apparently the time wasn't quite right on the official clock. Elliot Ryan jumped over top with that cradle. Boy, he is just deadly with that cradle. And he has jumped over top, started at one side and just jumped to the other side. Now he's getting his feet tied up a little bit, needs to adjust just a little bit better, see if he can take him straight back. Getting hip to hip, there you go. Hip to hip, and he's going to rock him over, and there's going to be a near fall for sure. Oh, and the fall. Wow. Dump him back and get the fall. Referee was all over that. And that's a fall in 1 minute and 27 seconds. And Independence jumps ahead 22-0. 22-0 in this dual meet after 182 pounds. Nice fall by Elliot Ryan. Wow. A lot of times falls by a cradle don't usually happen that fast. Usually there's some shaking and rocking and rolling going on, but he pretty well took him back, and that was the end of the story. So here we are now going 182 up to 195. I think we got Hunter Crawford on the mat for Independence now. And he's wrestling Donovan Doyle. Hunter Crawford, Donovan Doyle of Iowa City West. Hunter Crawford's done a real good job in these upper weights over the course of this Battle of Waterloo, stepping in and doing the job. I mentioned yesterday, Luke House did the same thing at 160. Crawford now fighting off a single leg attempt by Iowa City West. We got some space there. Let's see if we can get out of bounds. Whoa, we got big guys all tied up in a knot. Whoa, we got a potentially dangerous there. Not sure what kind of a counter that was by Hunter, but it worked. We'll take it. And get a new start back to the middle. 1:13 left in the first period, all tied up. Well, all tied up 0-0. Independence ahead in this dual meet right now, 22 to 0. So with Hunter Crawford moving in here at 195. Uh-oh, Hunter reached out, got his elbow up, and glad he went the direction he did, because otherwise that was going to be maybe a bigger deal. But oh, he paused for a little bit on the mat, stuck his head up in the air, and Iowa City West just came across with a vicious crossface and barbed wire, and boy, that looks awfully tight, and that's going to be a loss by fall. Hunter Crawford in 131. So dual meet score goes 22 to 6, and you know, he just took a little bit of time to hesitate after he'd been taken down, and when he did, he left his elbows out, left his head poking up in the air, and his opponent just drilled that crossface into a barbed wire. And there's McMillan with a 2-point takedown already, right off the whistle. Good job by Matt McMillan. He's coming out like a ball of fire here. He's got the chicken wing, and he's got him over to his back, and a lot of time to adjust. And boy, 22nd fall by Matt McMillan. So 28 to 6. Nice job, Matt McMillan. You know, Matt sometimes can have matches that they go every bit of all 3 periods. And sometimes they're 2-1 scores, and then you get that. Comes out and pins somebody in 20 seconds. So never know what kind of match you're going to get with him stepping out there. Good job by McMillan, another 6 points for Independence. 28 to 6, dual meet score. Okay, out here at heavyweight, 285, we've got Lane McMartin out there. And McMartin needs to get those elbows down soon. And McMartin wrestling Guy Snow of Iowa City West. Good to see Lane McMartin out here again this year. I think we had him wrestling last year. There's a headlock attempt by Lane McMartin. Good job. Good reaction to Snow coming straight forward at him. That might slow Snow down just a little bit. He won't be quite so confident coming in. Straight forward with the double underhooks. I like that action by Lane McMartin. Yeah, things have slowed down a little bit here. That's good. Kind of get this wrestling match down to a speed that maybe Lane can handle a little bit better. 1 minute left in the first period. No points scored so far. There's another headlock attempt by McMartin, and stay with it. Oh, he bailed on it. If he would have kept the arm, I think he could have got it after falling down to the mat. But he let go of the elbow. If he'd have kept that elbow, I think he would have pitched him over his back when he hit his knees. Got to keep that arm. Hey, good stand up by McMartin right off the whistle. Get right back to all fours. I think the coaches were thinking locked hands. Oh, we went head to the knee there for a second. I thought Iowa City West had a cradle hooked up. Now's where Lane needs to get that base built back up again. Got to get those knees underneath. Got to peel this. Beginnings of a barbed wire. Get that hand control, that hand that's draped over top. We got to get a hold of that thing. There you go. Good job. Get hand control. There you go. Good heavy on the head. These guys are getting after it. Coaches are saying go underneath. Snow has a tendency to kind of stand straight up and down. They're saying pop the elbows and go underneath. Got a little bit taller wrestler here. That's definitely a possibility. Time is out here in the first period. Towel person been a little slow on the gun here today. All right, beginning of the second period, Martin's going to start in the down position. Had a nice escape here in this last period. Good job getting up to his feet, turns in, outstanding. Good motion by Lane McMartin. Got a little fire in his belly now. Now just got to pummel. Just got to pummel with this guy. Pummel in. Good job. He wants to walk right into the double underhooks, and we got to put our forehead in his chest and not let him get that close. He's got to return a little push and pull with his own push and pull here. Otherwise, the wrestler from Iowa City West is gonna think he can do whatever he wants to do up here on his feet. A lot of movement here by these two guys. They've been all over the mat. All tied up 2-2. 1:09 left. Yeah, as his opponent comes forward, that's what the coaches were saying. Football tackle. Perfect. If you're going to come forward with both hands up in the air, just go ahead and cut him loose. Cut him loose. Don't get that roll. There's a side roll by Iowa City West, and he's going to pick up 2 reversal. And going to get 3 more back points and the fall. That's an experience thing for Lane McMartin. Lost by fall there in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But that's one of those experiences that Lane can build off of. Doing a nice job up on his feet with that popping the elbows and getting in there. Next time he wrestles somebody like that, if you're doing well on your feet, just go ahead and go right to it. Just stay up on your feet, especially moving up to 285 from 220. Keep those arms free, stop that roll. But also, if you're not feeling comfortable in that top position, cut him loose and go back up to the feet. Okay, we got stepping on the mat at 106, Andrew Delahunt and Hans Von Rabino. Don't know if I can pronounce that. We lost a point right away, a technical violation for not having our shoelaces tucked in. Seems like we've had this happen one other time for Andrew, so coaches are going to have to keep an eye on him. Iowa City West goes behind for 2-point takedown, goes ahead 3-0 right away at the beginning of the first period. I see the times all messed up too. They started the period, I think, with 1 minute on the clock rather than 2 minutes. They'll get that fixed, no problem. But Delahunt behind right now, 3-0. After losing a point due to a technical violation, shoelaces were not tied up and then completely covered by his shoes. There's a little strap that they have on there. There's another takedown. Yeah, there's the score is right. It should be 5-1 is right. The official score clock is a little bit behind in the scoring. They hadn't awarded Delahunt his escape yet. Now the escape takedown, 5-1, and Delahunt's fighting off his back. And there's a fall for Iowa City West in 36 seconds. And the dual meet score, Independence 28 and Iowa City West 18 after 106. Okay, at 113, it's going to be Holden Griffith on the mat for Independence. And we'll see who Holden Griffith is wrestling. He's got Keaton Speaker of Iowa City West here at 113. Let's see what Holden Griffith can pull. Good job by Holden Griffith to get in on the shot. He was up over the head. Probably got a little bit too impatient there, trying to finish it off. Needed to settle in and finish it a little bit better than he did. Gave Speaker from Iowa City West a chance to get back under control a little bit. There's another shot by Holden Griffith. Good job. Outside single leg. Now take control here. Get that seat belt, leg lifted all the way across. We lost the hand control. Oh, darn, there's two shots that we've missed out on. There's Speaker now with his shot attempt. Single leg up in the air. And a trip by Iowa City West and takedown for two. So Iowa City West is going to go ahead 2-0 here at 113. Dual meet score right now, Independence 28, Iowa City West 18. One on a bounce, head back to the middle. Holden Griffith. Holden's had some solid matches. He's had a few matches where he's just wrestled some really, really good wrestlers. And maybe that hasn't looked quite so good, but I like the way he wrestles against guys that are a little bit closer to his ability. Wrestles hard and keeps moving. 37 seconds left in the first period. Behind 2-0, they're going to head back to the middle of the mat. You get that stand up, and when you turn to face your opponent, you've got to get your arm between your body and his body. Wow, nice switch, but a re-switch by Iowa City West. He's following pretty well. Don't get a scramble. Switch by Iowa City West. He stops that great first switch attempt by Griffith off the whistle. Holden needs to come back to that again. Now Holden with the sit out. Don't sit there. Move, move, move. Sat still. Oh, the referee went 2 count on that. Holden's going to lose 2 back points on that right at the end of the period. Boy, we want those back. He hit the sit out. That was a good job creating some motion, but he sat still with the sit out and gave Iowa City West an opportunity to react and get a couple back points. Iowa City West a long single leg, and our foot got stuck in the mat. Just keep stuffing that head. Got to keep sliding down with the hip. Keep that head down as low in the mat as you can. Just stay right there. See if we can get a stalemate. Good. See if we can get a stalemate. Good job. That's about the only counter he had to that, so good job by Holden Griffith. Keep that head stuffed. 4-0 score. Griffith kind of reach into that outside leg, but very tight in that collar tie. I don't know if he could have made much motion out of that. Tried to throw the arm by and go in, but Iowa City West counters. These guys are going at it. Oh, there's a good double leg shot. See if he can finish it. Keep driving through, cast over. Oh, we're in that whizzer situation. He needed to keep his hips moving over top of his opponent's hips. Now he just jumps over top. Whoa! Over top the head, and that is cow catcher city. I think our guys call it the Oklahoma. He jumped up over top the head and just threw him down to the mat. Outstanding. Way to go for it. He just threw it all to the wind and said, I'm dumping you to your back, and there's a fall right there. Yes! Holden Griffith, nice job. A fall in 3:24, I believe, if I'm counting right. Boy, that match, that was a fun match to watch. Way to go, Holden Griffith. So, Independence got in that whizzer position and just went for the head, went up over top of the head and said, I'm going to take you for a ride. And not only that, is back. Okay, Colin Fishel's on the mat now for Independence. Gives up the first takedown, but battles right to the two and escape, so good job. There's a shot by Iowa City West, and boy, he's in deep. And oh, Fischel's almost had a great counter, but Iowa City West went chest to chest with him and was able to pancake Colin to his back. So now we've got 1:14 left for Colin to fight. See if we can stay off of his back. It's a pretty loose hold there. Oh, there's the fall. Good adjustment by Iowa City West there. So a loss by fall for Colin Fischels. In 54 seconds. And the dual meet score, Independence 34 and Iowa City West 24. 34-24. So stepping on the mat here at 126 is going to be Jacob Wolf. And Jacob Wolf wrestling Alex Giesland. Alex Giesland, Iowa City West. Jacob Wolf, Independence. And here we go at 126. Dual meet score 34-24. See what Jacob can get going here. The tough matches he's had here in this tournament. Good job of releasing, breaking that collar tie. Trying to move forward into a shot attempt. Needs to get out of this front headlock position here. We don't really want to be there. Oh, good adjustment into a fireman's carry. Keeps the arm. He's going to get back points, moves to a headlock. Now just settle in, know where you're at. You got 1:07 left. 1:07 left to try and finish this off. Needs to get ready to post his head on the far side if needed. In case the West wrestler tries to hit a roll through. We don't want him tied up in our legs though. Boy, this thing's really tight. Needs to sit his hip through. Take that left hip. There we go, turn up like that. Just what he did there, kind of reached back. Needs to sit through with his hip like you're sliding into first base with your left leg forward. Turn your hips up like that. There we go. Fall for Jacob Wolf, that's what we needed. And so at 126, Independence with a nice fall there. And 1 minute and 33 seconds. Okay, so here we go to 132. Tanner Erickson-Dale now out for Independence. And Erickson-Dale wrestling Aaron Stump. So we got a couple brothers there for Iowa City West. Aaron Stump, Iowa City West. Tanner Erickson-Dale trying to come underneath that front headlock into a high crotch. Probably turn it into a single leg if he can get forward, but Stump putting some pressure on, trying to keep us on the mat. And they're going to go out of bounds. 1:28 left in the first period. Dual meet score, by the way, goes 40-24. 40 to 24. Independence going the right direction. We got the dual meet wrapped up, so we like to see that. So we're going to pick up a win here. Pick up a win against Iowa City West. Matches that we have left, I think. We go to 45. Yeah, just 2 matches left. There's a nice attempt at a single leg there. Kind of a high cross to a single. There's a fireman's carry. Tanner's been doing a good job with that move these past couple days. That time just not able to keep the elbow quite tight enough. Iowa City wrestler comes back with the double underhooks. Boosts Tanner up. Not sure how we're gonna, we're gonna go out of bounds. A little bit of a scramble there. Like I said, Tanner's done a good job with that fireman's carry. There's an outside single attempt. Boy, Iowa City likes to be in this front headlock position. Got to do everything we can do to stay out of this, because you can tell he feels really comfortable on the top side of that front headlock. Oh, Tanner with the throw attempt. 10 seconds left. Probably should have kept that one in the back pocket, but he's down 2-0 here with 8 seconds left in the first period. Good stand up, but did not clear the legs. I've said that a couple times here. We're doing a good job hitting the stand-ups, but we've got to clear from our opponent just a little bit better. Quite a few guys on the team that getting the stand-up, they're not getting the arm through the body and not getting enough separation. And so their opponent's just diving back in on the legs. It's a lot of work with that stand-up to get nothing out of it. And stand-ups that are good enough to definitely score from it. There's Erickson Dale pushing back into a single leg. Behind 2-0 right now after giving up that takedown at the end of the first period. Tough to wrestle over on the side there with the benches so close to the mat. Iowa City West, a long shot. We'll see if Tanner can slide down. Fights that shot attempt off. Boy, Iowa City West, he so wants to be in that front headlock. So we know it's coming. We gotta let that front headlock, let that pressure work right into Tanner's fireman's attempt. There's a good job, a snap and go behind. Not a very good shot by Iowa City West, so no point scored there. Tanner got to run behind him, but never got him down to the mat, never got his hands on the mat, so looked like a score. Oh, nice ankle pick. Same thing though, didn't drive through it. There's a way to shuck out of that. Way to shuck out of that kind of lateral attempt by Iowa City West and pick up 2, so it's all tied up now. There's a suckback situation here by Erickson Dale. If he's on his knees, Iowa City's got his hips out in front, but he's got her hands, so I guess we can't really do that. Got to be careful here. Okay, no stall call. Good job of returning back to the mat. 13 seconds left in the second period. Love to see it stay tied up here. Drive him out of bounds. We're going to lose a point right at the end. And so 3-2 score. 3-2 score heading into the third period. Tanner Erickson Dale gets his choice. Looks like he's going to go into down position. Up to his feet right away. Iowa City West returns him back to the mat. Behind 3-2, so we don't want to spend a whole bunch of time down here on the mat. Iowa City West tying up our leg. Tripod, get your leg through. Good job of getting your hips cleared. The tripod up. Got to sit his right leg through. Right leg was between the Iowa City West wrestler's leg He could have hit a quick sit out there to clear his hips and maybe get a little bit more movement. Iowa City West now with the chicken wing. Tried to set up a tilt. We should be able to fight this off. Should be able to come to our feet. Look where you're at, look where you're at. Yep, come to your feet. Good reaction to that pressure. No change, they're gonna go back to the middle. 1:09 left in this third period. Tanner's got to pick himself up an escape here, and it's going to come down to a takedown. Go right back to it. Oh, needs to hit the mat and come right back up. Needs to land a little more solid on his knees, hands and knees. Come right back to that stand-up. He had a great stand-up there. Just need to straighten that leg to clear that pressure. Ooh, and we're going to get a stall call. Huh. We kind of hit the belly. Good. Scramble, got the hips up. If we can get the hips up, good things are going to happen. But we don't want to sit here too long. We only have 25 seconds left to score. Apparently Tanner lost a point on that stall call. I don't remember seeing the first one. Maybe he picked up a stall call for not returning him to the mat earlier on. So it's 4-2 now. Tanner losing a point there, so boy, it's reversal, or now we have to have an escape takedown, but Iowa City West just putting a ton of pressure forward. Tanner just not able to deal with that pressure. So that's how it's going to wrap up. Lost by decision 4-2. And so Independence 40 and Iowa City West 27. And we're down to our last match of this dual meet. And it's Drew Davis stepping out on the mat for Independence right now. And he's wrestling Nelson Brands. Yeah, if you're wondering if the Brands name, if that is the Brands family, that's the two coaches at the University of Iowa, you are correct. Nelson Brands is the son of Terry Brands. So Drew Davis, young Mr. Brands, is a pretty good wrestler. Drew's going to have his hands full here, and Brands is able to come up over the head under the elbow, and he's got that Oklahoma hooked up pretty tight right now. 1:20 left, so it's a lot of time for Brands to make adjustments here. Minute 12 left. Oh, he lost control around the head, so there's life here for Drew. Down 5-0, but he's off his back. Five to 0 score here at 1:38. Drew Davis picks up the escape. There we go, good motion by Drew Davis. Trying to create a little space and get in on a leg, but Brands is able to fight off that long shot attempt and get back behind. Nelson Brands ranked number 5 in Class 3A at 138. Drew Davis also ranked in Class 2A. Davis with a stand-up and an escape, so it's 7-2 score right now. Snap down attempt by Brands. Davis with another long shot. He's got to be careful on these long shots. It's getting way too extended and giving up points there really. And time runs out in the first period. All right, Davis going to start the second period in the down position. 9-2 score here at the beginning of the second period. Brands tried that suck back, let Davis kind of sit out and try to suck back. But Drew Davis able to get the escape. See where this goes out of bounds here. 1:38 left. Brands with an outside single out of the tie, out of the collar tie. Outside. Some Brands scoring a lot of points here on Drew Davis. 11-3 score, and they're going to go ahead and give Drew Davis the escape. Caution on green. .115 left in the second period. Got two ranked wrestlers out here right now, but boy, Nelson Brands kind of having his way here over Drew Davis. Outside single, he's able to keep the elbow and get Drew to his back for 2 points. So that 4-point move makes it 15-4. Drew Davis got to be careful here. He's going to get a stall call if he doesn't kind of get his head up off the mat and get those. There we go. Brands is going to go ahead and cut him loose for an escape. 15-5, 10-point. There's Davis in on a shot. But the same thing, his shots are so long and they're ending up going across the body that without a better setup, it's going to be awfully hard to finish those. So 17-5 now is the score. Brands up by 12 over Drew Davis. And you can see on the clock, final 15 seconds here in the second period. Brands now sitting over top of Davis, just trying to get Davis to sit up straight. I was looking for a suck back. All right, back to the middle, third period. Both wrestlers going to start on their feet. 17-5 score right now. Drew Davis behind right now here at 138 pounds. This is the last match of the dual meet. Independence has the dual meet wrapped up, ahead 40-27 right now. There's Brands with a go behind. 19-5 score. Oh, Brands elevates the arm. Oh, I guess the chicken wing, the bar arm across the back, and he's able to drive Drew Davis over to his back. Oh, it gets the pin. So Drew Davis with the loss by fall in 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and that's the last match of this dual meet. So the wrestlers from Iowa City West and Independence out there shaking hands right now. Independence is going to pick up a dual meet win. The final score is 40-33. So we started off this match. We started at 1:45, and it was Seth House out on the mat for Independence, picking up a 10-2 major decision. At 1:52, Peyton Nolting with a nice win, 5-2 win at 1:52. At 1:60, Jake Jewell won by fall. At 1:70, Nick Holt won 8-4. At 1:82, it was Elliott Ryan with a fall in 1:27. 1:95, Hunter Crawford stepped out. He lost by fall in 1:31. At 2:20, Matt McMillan won by fall in 20 seconds. Lamont Martin lost by fall in 3:15. Thought he was wrestling a pretty good match there. Just kind of got caught then on his back. Got in a position he wasn't familiar with and got caught. But Lamont Martin losing by fall at 2:85. 1:06, Andrew Delahunt lost by fall. Holden Griffith won by fall at 1:13. Colin Fischels lost by fall at 1:20. 1:26, Jake Wolf won by fall at 1:33. At 1:32, Tanner Erickson Dale, a loss by decision, 4-2, hard fought match there. And at 1:38, we just listened to Drew Davis losing by fall in 4 minutes and 33 seconds. So, final dual meet score, 40-33. That's the second of the 3 dual meets we're going to have here this evening. Lost the first round, 46-31 to Al Burnett. Won here over Iowa City West. And who's our last match there?
Davis and Nelson Brands.
Okay, 1 second. What's that?